Hey, how's it going, beautiful people? It's Ryan here. Today we'll talk to you about life advice for my children. I made this post on Facebook and it was about essentially every feeling is temporary, right? In your darkest moments, you will feel at the extremes. Your darkest moments feel permanent. They feel like when you're really depressed or sad or just something just gets all fucked up. The problem is you can't, it's hard when you have that intense, dark, low emotion, it's hard to see that it'll pass, right? You know, I'm sure at some point maybe you've broken up with a girlfriend, maybe went through a divorce or had like a business deal fall through that was gonna change your life. A big disappointment of some kind, huge, right? And in those moments, it feels like it's impossible to see the light at the end of the tunnel, like it's not going to change, especially if it's intense, right? I remember when my mom died. Well, the interesting thing about really extreme circumstance, like, you know, my mom was shot by my dad, and I saw the whole thing, and it was so and just surreal, right? Unreal. So unreal to the fact that it's unbelievable, right? So it doesn't even really feel like it's scary, right? It's almost like, think of it like this: when you get hurt, when you get injured, and you know how you like stub your toe, you go, fuck, that hurts. But then when you have your arm cut off or get hit by a car and get knocked unconscious, or I've seen some gross videos where someone like twists something like in a gross manner. They go into shock, right? There's a story on Quora about this kid. I think he had his hand cut off or his arm cut off. You should look it up. It's a pretty crazy read. But what essentially happens is he didn't feel anything, right? I mean, it hurt afterwards, but like your body goes into shock. And I think that's what happened to me. But part of why I'm talking about this because I'm trying to create this little series called Life Advice for My Children, because it's a way for me to create a creative outlet for my kids, or a creative outlet for me to share life advice, but also to teach my kids, maybe that I can turn into a book or a blog post or something. But I kind of want to talk about why, or when it feels permanent, when it feels like the tragedy or whatever's happening in your life is permanent. It's hard to remember that it will pass, right? It's hard to realize that every feeling you have is temporary, right? Even right now, I feel pretty good, feel neutral, not tired, not hungry. I'm in a maybe a little bit positive mood, right? You can probably tell in my voice. But this feeling will pass. In a little bit, I'll probably be hungry, or I might get really bored with the work that I'm doing, or I might be really happy. It's really hard to say. And it's understanding that it will always pass. The problem is our life, our memory tends to be defined by extreme moments. You know, like that's kind of why I bring up my past about my mom, because you really can't, there's like no way to forget that, right? It's pretty traumatic, right? But like what you had for lunch last Tuesday, forgettable, right? So it's only like when you break up with your girlfriend, when you lose your job, when you change jobs, like dramatic events, and those feelings are so intense, right? I mean, think of any movie, right? You remember, like, if you watch Sixth Sense, and you saw the ending, you're like, oh my God, right? Like those kinds of moments, right? And in movies, but also in life. And I'm rambling now, but the thing I just want to talk about is that all feelings are temporary. And if you can somehow remember that when you are at your extremes of highs and lows, you'll make better decisions, I think. Yeah, you will. Because the problem is when you get excited about something, like for me, or like just getting excited about something, you just want it so bad, right? And then when you're excited to purchase something and you kind of let a few days pass, like you don't have the money for it, or you just don't have enough motivation to make it, to buy it or click the buy button, you realize you never needed it, you know? Or maybe it was like, why did you even want that? Like I remember I wanted a row machine, and I really wanted a Concept 2 rower a couple years ago, and now I don't even I don't want one of those things. What the hell was I thinking, right? I'm just bringing this up because I think in general, whatever we're going through, we get so stuck in our heads and we think it's gonna last forever. And it's just not. It's temporary. Anyways, hope you enjoyed this video. Click like if you haven't already. Subscribe if you're not a subscriber. And I'll see you all on the next video.